Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is a strange case of Sean coming at you with another chapter of the Wyatt 6 Invade AEW. This is chapter 5. Be sure to check out the previous chapters to get caught up, but I'll give you a little recap of what happened in chapter 4. It was revealed that Wheeler Yuta was taken out backstage by Uncle Howdy and Erick Rowan. Mercedes Mone is announced to return at Battle of the Belts, and Nikki Cross has made her intentions clear that she's coming for Mercedes Mone's TBS Championship. The Blackpool Combat Club has had enough of the Wyatt 6 and challenged them to an Anarchy in the Arena match. With two of their members out, Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland step in to team up with them. This leads to one of the most barbaric matches ever to take place in AEW. After an intense and uncomfortable match, the Wyatt 6 came out on top, with Bryan Danielson passing out. Now it's time to see what else the Wyatt 6 have in store for All Elite Wrestling. So now let's get started with Chapter 5. Tony Khan opens Dynamite to crowd applause. He begins. As you may have seen on X, I have several important announcements for tonight and for Collision's Battle of the Belts. Tonight we will determine several important title matches for Saturday, including the TBS Championship and the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The crowd erupts. That's right. MJF will return to in-ring action at Battle of the Belts and will defend his championship. MJF's music plays and he emerges from the tunnel. He walks past Tony, not acknowledging him, and he grabs a microphone. He begins. I'm happy to see management finally understood the magnitude of their error of suspending me, their World Heavyweight Champion. Tony puts his head down, not acknowledging MJF. He continues. I already know I'm the best to ever do this, and I don't need this championship to know that. This just solidifies how great I am and saves me breath from having to remind you all. But I'm not gonna. I'm the greatest wrestler of all time, and I'm better than you all. A mix of cheers and boos. He continues. And I know for damn sure I'm better than Bray Wyatt's nobody brother. Bray was a once-in-a-generation talent, but now we're left with his brother? His cheap knockoff? Is that supposed to scare me? Wasn't this the guy that couldn't decide if he was a motivational speaker, or a lackey to a one-man band, or hell, even a D-list celebrity? I know Bray's looking down on this, shaking his head, wishing you could fill even half of his boots. But you won't, because no matter how hard you try, you'll always be a failed wrestler that is better off memorializing his brother as a haunted house actor that kids laugh at. The crowd continues to have a mix of cheers and boos. As for my title defense on Saturday, I take issue with having to defend my championship when I was sent home. I should be allowed a tune-up match before jumping into a title match. But should I expect more from the management here? But there's one person I am ready to fight. Hell, I'll even defend my championship tonight. The crowd cheers. Uncle Howdy, are you ready to face the devil? Then the music of Swerve Strickland begins to play. He walks out to the entrance ramp with a microphone. Maxwell, that isn't how this is going to work. And you? Yeah, you're not ready for Howdy. But a word of advice. The more space he takes up in your head, the less space there is for you to be up to the task of being a champion. Especially a champion these people can actually be proud of. The crowd cheers. He continues. Now as for your challenger, that'll be me. The crowd cheers again. He continues. After I win tonight's Fatal 4-Way against Malachi Black, Jay White, and Darby Allin, the crowd cheers as the main event is set. MJF looks mad in the ring as the show goes to commercial. Back from break, Will Ospreay is seen backstage arguing with Tony Khan. Tony tells Will that he wasn't medically cleared to wrestle, thus being medically disqualified from the contender pool. Will calls it BS. He says Malachi has only been on Rampage, White is pretending to play Bullet Club, and Darby will waste the opportunity, and that Swerve was taken out for half their match at All In. Tony reiterates that Swerve was medically cleared, unlike Will. He storms off. Later in the show, Renee Paquette welcomes her guest, the returning Wardlow. She asks him what his goals are now that he's back on AEW television. He responds, "They can't contain me. War will be waged on all that defy me and deny me. I've proven my worth, and yet I get no championship opportunities. I've broken myself and bled for this company. I'm the biggest and baddest AEW has to offer. I'll have to once again make my own mark and remind them why it's wise to fear me." He walks off. Renee sends it back to the commentary team. They begin to talk about the TBS Championship. The lights go out and Howdy's sound plays. We hear the familiar voice of Uncle Howdy begin to talk. I see those wandering in the dark, feeling lost and forgotten. I can sense it. This gnawing emptiness, the sting of being overlooked. In the void, that's where true power is born. It's the darkness that makes us sick, reveals real strength, the strength to be the epitome of what we can be. We may be a disease, but at least we are free. We are plucked, one by one, cleansed for a true purpose, and then set free. Maxwell, you will lose everything and regret the day you denied me, declined me, disparaged us. Hold on to that championship tightly. Hold on to your partner firmly, for your grip will falter and you will succumb. He laughs. The camera pans to Nikki Cross, who rocks herself back and forth on the ground. She speaks. "Monet, Monet, shine bright, shine bold. Come see my dreams, yet to be told. Sick as can be, ready to play. Then watch your light fade away. Monet, Monet, see you Saturday." The screen goes static. Back from commercial, the commentary team announces that the TBS Championship match has made official for Battle of the Belts between Mercedes Moné and Nikki Cross. Darby Allin, Malachi Black, Switchblade Jay White, and Swerve Strickland will be battling in a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender to MJF's AEW World Heavyweight Championship. This competitive match goes through 3 commercial breaks. Swerve is preparing to deliver his Swerve Stomp to Jay White when Will Ospreay aggressively attacks Swerve, who rolls out of the ring. They continue to fight up the ramp. Ospreay gives Swerve an uppercut and throws him off of the side of the entrance ramp. Security holds Will back as medical personnel check on Swerve. Darby goes to the top rope to deliver a coffin drop to Jay White when he's caught by Wardlow, who delivers a full Nelson slam to him. Wardlow then picks Darby up and hits him with a powerbomb. He then clotheslines Jay White and delivers his own powerbomb to him. The crowd begins to boo. Wardlow shrugs his shoulders and walks away. Suddenly, Malachi Black peers up from behind the apron, looking on at the carnage Wardlow left. He picks up Darby and hits him with the end and covers him for the pin. It will be Malachi Black versus MJF for the AEW Championship at Battle of the Belts. On that week's Collision, it is a special known as Battle of the Belts. The special opens up with the TBS Championship match between Nikki Cross of the Wyatt Six and TBS champion Mercedes Moné. The bell rings and both competitors wait for the other to make the first move. They both circle the ring when Nikki makes the first charge, but Mercedes sends her into the ring post. She follows this up with a roll-up, but Nikki kicks out immediately. Mercedes hits her with a series of kicks. Nikki deflects one of the kicks and hits her with a running knee. Nikki continues to ground and pound her. Mercedes is on the ropes and the referee counts to 5. When she gets to 5, Nikki screams at them, and the ref slowly backs away. This leaves her open for an attack from Mercedes. She then viciously attacks her and Nikki goes into the ropes. The ref counts to 5 again, and Mercedes gets into the ref's face, and the ref throws her hands up in defeat. Mercedes brings Nikki into the corner and begins to chop her. She then delivers a vicious top rope attack with her knees. She then goes for the cover. She gets only a 1 count. Nikki laughs as she lays on the ground. Mercedes Irish whips Nikki and goes for a clothesline, but Nikki ducks and rebounds off the ropes and hits her with a running crossbody, crashing into Mercedes' ribs. Mercedes cries in pain. Nikki puts her into a submission, but Mercedes fights through and almost breaks free. Before she can get away, Nikki hits her with a back suplex. Nikki picks her up and hits her with a Uranagi. She goes for a pin, but Mercedes kicks out at 2. Nikki puts Mercedes into position for her fisherman suplex. Mercedes spins out of it and begins a comeback with another series of kicks. She then hits Nikki with a code breaker and tries for a pin, but only gets a 2 count. She then picks Nikki back up and begins to deliver the 3 amigos. The crowd is cheering Mercedes on, and Mercedes believes she can taste victory. She climbs up to the top turnbuckle and delivers a frog splash. As she goes for a pin, Nikki again kicks out at 2. Mercedes picks Nikki up again, who is uncontrollably laughing. Mercedes hits her with the backbreaker and gets her into position for bankrupt. Nikki is reaching for the ropes when the lights flicker. Uncle Howdy sound plays. The lights go out. The lights come back on, and Howdy is now at ringside, and he smugly waves at Mercedes and holds his beard and tugs on his lip. Nikki's mouth begins to spill a dark liquid from her mouth. Mercedes lets go of the hold and then begins to shout at Howdy. MJF runs down the ramp and begins to trade blows with Howdy. Security runs down in between them. The lights flicker and go off. They come back on again, and Howdy has disappeared. MJF curses him out while being escorted back up the ramp. Mercedes has lost all focus, and this is shown as Nikki attacks her and hits her with the fisherman suplex and goes for the pin. Mercedes loses the TBS Championship to Nikki Cross. She laughs in the ring with her newly won prize. Malachi Black begins to make his entrance for his championship match when MJF interrupts his entrance and they begin to fight on the ramp. MJF brings Malachi into the ring and the match begins without formal introductions. With big strikes, he keeps calling Malachi Howdy. The lights flicker. MJF screams at the ramp, daring Howdy to come out. He returns his attention to Malachi and delivers another series of high-impact moves. The match runs through a commercial break. MJF has Malachi in a hold. Over the speaker, a phone rings. A picture is shown of a dimmed house on the Titantron. The phone then picks up. A distorted voice says, "I told you, you will lose everything." The distorted voice laughs and asks, "Hello?" The picture begins to get clearer. The camera then pans over a car with the license plate MJF. The camera pans to show a silhouette of a woman holding a phone. Lumis, Gacy, and Rowan begin to walk up to the house. MJF looks up in horror, leaving him open to an attack from Malachi, and then follows it up with the end. He pins MJF to become the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He stands over MJF, his face a mask of cold triumph. He barely acknowledges the crowd. Suddenly, the arena plunges into darkness. A tense silence grips the air. When the lights flicker back on, Malachi is nowhere to be seen. In his place, Uncle Howdy looms over the fallen MJF. Quickly, Howdy grabs MJF, pulling him into a brutal Sister Abigail, the impact reverberating through the silent arena. As MJF lies motionless, Howdy kneels beside him, cradling his head. The eerie music swells, and a distorted, haunting voice echoes through the arena. "There you are. The Wyatt Six have truly made a mark, and something tells the fans they may only just be getting started. And that concludes Chapter 5 of the Wyatt 6 Invade AEW. Be sure to check out the previous chapters. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe. I appreciate all the support. It really means a lot. Stay strange, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.